Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie, and welcome to Achieve Spiritual, Holistic, and Self-Improvement Radio. Today, I offer peaceful psychic readings for anybody that feels lost or feels as if they are just kind of waking up in a fog. That's what I excel in. All you have to do is give me your first name. The number to call in for a psychic reading is 602-666-6027. And you don't have to call. You can inquick your question. And today, even I'm looking at Facebook, and there are people that may want to try to Facebook their question in to my page, which is Marie's Safe Haven, which is the name of my studio in the Midwest. So today I wanted to start out just by telling you that I was going to be on last week, but as an animal activist, I had my favorite senior cat, Miko, and she had been with us for many, many years. And for whatever reason, she was starting to lose a lot of weight. And I kept thinking, golly, how long can she live? And she just was like a little walking skeleton. And she was like 17 years old. So one day, she ate her dinner and she went downstairs. She came back upstairs in my studio here. That was last Wednesday. And she proceeded to make her stages of dying. And if you've ever been with your favorite pet when they're passing on, there's two things you can do. If they're young, you can run them to the veterinarian and hopefully they can operate. Or if you are like me and had a senior pet and it was late at night when veterinarians are closed or around 5 o'clock, there's not a whole lot you can do except make them comfortable. So she did a lot of crying and she did a lot of just going in and out of that. I think it's like a transition where they're almost gone, but they're still a part of this world. And if it's a cat, a lot of times this is the point where they start to look for a drainage pipe or some kind of place inside the house you can't find. So when she made that point in her life, I took out her carrier, I packed it full of pillows, I put her inside, I put more pillows and blankets on the outside to give her comfort instead of a drainage pipe that she would probably prefer to be in. And she peacefully went into a coma and died. And I feel like I intuitively picked up what she needed. And if any of you have any cats that are on last stages, whatever you do, just make sure that they have a little tiny place to be in because that's where they feel secure. And I'm sure dogs are the same way. Most of my dogs, I think my last one died eating a cheeseburger and taking a walk, and he just went and fell, and that was the best death ever of a pet. But looking at pets today, and if you have any pet readings or crossing over readings on a pet that has left you, that is open as well. Casey is here today And hi, Casey. And Casey's from Ohio. And he says, "Hi, is there a better paying job for me soon?" Well, Casey, the first thing I'm going to do is look at just what comes up on where you are in life. And when I look at that, and this is kind of what I do. If Casey were here, I would say, "Casey, say your first name." And he would say it 3 times as I shuffle my cards. But since he's not here, and I do email readings as well, I am more than happy to just read on his question. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at what comes up spiritually around Casey. Casey, I'm shown that you're feeling as if you're in a time of your life where whatever it was that was making you feel lost, because I am showing you felt lost the last 2 months. There's a sense that you feel like your self worth just went, and there's a feeling that you started to have some bad luck, or you started to feel that money crunch in the last 2 months. So now it says it's time for you to realize that the law of attraction, Casey, means you have to get away from all of that sense of depression and that feeling that nothing works in your life, and start to visualize what it is that you want in your life. Even if it is a small job, even if it is something at Walmart, even if it is something that can help you pay your rent or help out wherever you're at, that's what I show. Because here's the thing, Casey, I'm not showing that you're taking a lot of ambitious motivation to look for work. And you can't find a job if you're not out there actively looking. So, Casey, I'm going to say tomorrow, get out there, make about 2 or 3 job applications, check out your paper, do whatever you need. Don't expect that you're going to find that monumental, wonderful job. You must have some kind of support system around you, because I'm showing that either you're in a job that you haven't quite left yet, or that you are in a home or family or around some kind of financial aid, whether that's um, unemployment, or whether that is lucky enough to be with a family that is helping you get through. I would say that it could be almost, if you aren't looking actively, quite a few months yet before I see you with the kind of job you want. Now, you can change the course of action by your motivation to get out there and do something about it. So, my feeling is, Casey, get out there. If you've got a support system or unemployment, or if you're in a rut job that has made you miserable, it's time to do something about it. Time to get out there and take the steps to change your life. When you do that, contact me, Casey. I think then I will see something here. But I feel that the desire is there, but I'm not showing the ambition to do something about it. So when you start to have that ambition, Casey, things will fall in line. I hate to give you that kind of reading. I'm not a feel good reader as far as I have give peaceful readings, but truthful readings. All right. Thank you very much. And Casey, let us know in another week or something how that goes for you. We're taking Brittany. Hey, Brittany, how's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing great. What's going on?
So I have a question about the love in my life. My
All
ex
right.
broke off our relationship a couple months ago, but I've recently been told that we do have a soul connection between us. And intuitively, I've really been feeling like he's meant to be in my life. or we're meant to reconnect. And but sometimes those doubts set in that it's just the hurt from the breakup that I want this. And I guess I'm questioning the validity of those feelings in our connection. And if we have that soul connection, what to do going forward, because the breakup is kind of creating a major block right now.
Sure. Okay, so what is the first name of your special someone?
Should I give you what I call him or his given name?
It doesn't matter.
Manny.
Manny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and say it one more time.
Manny.
Thank you. So the first thing I'm doing is looking at how he perceives this breakup with you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what comes through says he is aware that what you had in the past, it's almost like you could read each other's minds. And there was incredible trust at one time. But it shows that right now he feels like, for whatever reason, one of you or maybe both of you started to take advantage or take each other for granted. When that started happening, if it was you and you started to notice that he wasn't necessarily being as motivated or as being as complimentary or giving you clues about where this was going in the future, you may have started asking questions. And if that was happening, then all of a sudden it's like it created a block. Not that he did not care about you, but it's almost like, how do you go with the flow if you're more concerned in his mind about where it's going in the future? But you had that right to ask. You had that right to know where this was going. So it says that at this time he's lost. He doesn't know what it is he wants. And because he doesn't know what he wants, he's hesitant to connect with you because he doesn't know if you will ask him the same question, and he's not sure that he has an answer. So if I look at what is it in this relationship that he loved most about you? Is it okay if I ask that?
Yeah, of course.
So if I look at what is it about you that he loved most, that kept him with you? And this makes sense because what I'm looking at says one of the things that you always were to him was so laid back. You never asked for anything that you couldn't get yourself. In other words, you almost, I'm not going to say it, but you spoiled him rotten. So what happened by being the nice lady and not asking for anything and not asking for and not trying to push him or get him to do anything that was uncomfortable and not trying to make a big perhaps not even be all you are around him because you wanted to be sure that you were both comfortable. He loved that about you. He loved it about you. And so when you changed and you became a real person and you started to be a little more questioning, that's when those feelings of, oh my God, she's changing, but really that the problem was that you spoiled him rotten. So if I look at what is it at this time, Brittany, that looks like, is he going to come back in the future? And I'll tell you one way or the other. I'll tell you the good or the bad. And it says, I believe absolutely, but it looks like it may be a couple of months. And it says right now he's feeling very unsettled in himself and in his life. He felt like he let you down, and he let himself down doing that. And he also feels like he needs to process all this. So he knows exactly what it is he wants. But my feeling is, Brittany, that you need to understand that as long as he is not in your life, please do not sit by the phone or sit by your, sit at home and wait for some kind of contact. You need to get out there. You need to be with friends. You need to do whatever you can do to make sure that you are not putting all your eggs in one basket. I believe that this man needs a transformation. I believe you need a transformation. And one way or the other, I see another person walking into your life. And I'm not saying that this man does not have a telepathic connection with you, because I believe he does. What is a telepathic connection? When you can feel their energy, when it's like you're having an ongoing conversation and he's not even there. It's like you're
Yeah.
asking him the questions and he's answering them, but he's answering them telepathically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do when you're having a telepathic connection with someone is to not allow them to rent free space in your head, because it's like what I call chicken shit love. It makes it too easy for somebody to be spoiled rotten and have it both ways. Whereas if you
Yeah.
just completely cut off the connection, then they start noticing that something isn't right. They feel empty, they feel scared, and that's when they come physically into your world and search you out. But as long as you're nurturing that telepathic connection, how do you do that? The first thing I say that you should do is when you go to bed at night, imagine yourself locking the door to your telepathic, or to the portal to your dreams. Because a lot of times, just like with spirit messages from those crossed over, sometimes the people that are in another dimension that we love, and telepathic love, they're in a different kind of portal, but it's still that kind of long distance communication, nonverbal, but communicating through dreams, feelings, and so what you need to do is visualize yourself locking that door, putting the key under your pillow, and saying, "No, no, I will not communicate with you." Now, why are you doing that? You're doing it because you want him to come to you in person quicker. And as long as you feed him with that telepathic connection, he's going to take his time. So you may feel tired in the morning, as if you've been pounding on your telepathic door. And you just have to continue to say no, no, no. And I believe that he'll be back sooner than later. And there has to be a transformation, and the transformation is stop spoiling him. You're a real person.
Okay.
What
So
that
really
means.
take a step back and wait for him to reach out in this case.
Yep. And get out there and have a good time. Do not allow yourself to put yourself on hold. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care, Brittany.
You too.
All right. I'm going to go with Andy from Connecticut. Hey, Andy. How you doing?
Oh, Sandy. We've done this before, Sandy.
Oh, I'm sorry. The name says Andi.
Yeah, it's done that before. I've called before, and that's what it did. It's so funny that it did it again. Thank you so much for taking my call, really. I was doing so well. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how you've helped me. And I seem to have stumbled over the past 2 weeks. Can you pick up like more negative? Can negative energy be something that you can pick up?
Well,
Is
I'm not going to look for one or the other. What I'll do is look for whatever comes through. Okay?
okay.
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 So say your first name.
Sandy.
Okay. And then say it one more time.
Sandy.
Thank you. And then one more time.
Sandy.
Thank you. So, Sandy, here's what comes through around your energy at this time, around the energy that comes through in your name. You know, it's interesting because you say that you feel like you're stumbling, but what comes through is the card of affluence, which says that you have chosen to be debt free and live an abundant and healthy life, which says to me that that is where you have been in your quest for healing and being able to get yourself back on the right track. What was haunting you in the past, and this is the card of security, but it's reversed, which says that in the past, it was almost impossible for you to feel secure. And you felt like your emotional stamina was empty. And that was probably causing illness and all kinds of things. And so your reading is saying that you had a little visitor, and that visitor was your shadow child. Now, we all have shadow childs. They are us. They are our old selves. And they always trip us up when we think we're at our best. It's almost as if they want that old self, or maybe the child that was experiencing difficulties that through a divorce or through some trauma in their life. They just can't allow us to heal and move on. They need to know that they can get a hug and get affirmation. And so much of the time when we're healing, we're going, go away. It's like we're putting crucifixes at them and saying, that's the old me. No, no, no. When instead it says what you need to do is just give it a hug. Confirm that it is a part of who you used to be, your shadow child, and realize that you just have to be flexible and realize that, no, I don't see negativity. I see you got a visitor. And the visitor was your old negative self. Now,
isn't that interesting? Because I kept saying how after what I went through, it was like waking up from a coma. It was like having a paradox change, they say, where you actually look at everything differently and you see everything, everybody around you and everything is, and you realize how you built your life on lies, other people's truths or your own lies, and how, and that's what happened to me. And to say that the shadow child visit I am imagining from what you said, is the old me coming back saying, even though you keep saying, no, that's not me, I've changed, I'm so much, the old me who wants to be the extreme people pleaser, and believe me, I'm like the other lady. I spoiled the bejeebies out of my husband, and you know what I mean. That's kind of like made a shift with me. I'm not so much like that anymore. So it was very interesting to hear you talk to her and to hear you say that, because it would be like a pain body coming back, wanting to not let you escape. Is that what you're saying? It doesn't let you escape. It wants you to stay in one place. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying just accept it and love it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, Einstein said the past, present, and the future are all happening at one time. So the thing is, time isn't irrelevant, right? Time is something that we we think we know how to tell time, but the one thing that never leaves us is our shadow child, or our old negative habits or self. And it's like having a visitor from an abusive ex. You know, it's like you can't prevent it from happening. But as long as that ex or that shadow child is not living, making you live with it in a in a reality that is in now, you've chosen to say, excuse me, I don't want to live like that anymore, just like you would with an abusive ex-partner.
Mhm.
So you just have to give it a hug and say, good to see you. I see that, you need to know, thank you so much, self or shadow child, or however you want to say it. Thank you so much for being a part of my life, but it's time for me to expand and grow. And you're always with me because you were my motivation for becoming a better person. So thank you for that. And give it a hug in your head, whatever that shadow child looks like. And whether it's a voice of a child, or whether it's just um, an actual feeling of doom and gloom that you feel, it's not with you anymore, Sandy. It's just not you. So you just got a visitor, a little bit of um, a relapse, but more like a visitor from your shadow child. And instead of pushing it away and condemning it and saying, no, 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 give it a hug. Say, I love you. Treat it like a precious adopted child, and just realize that it's always going to be with you, but you're growing up, you're expanding, you're transforming, and that's just why you became a better person. So there's no negative energy around you. You just had a visitor.
That's good to know, because you wonder about these different frequencies and these different, that you can produce these super frequencies, and then you attract other frequencies to you that are like that. So when things were going wrong, and it seemed, oh my goodness, it was like, a 2 weeks where I couldn't get my feet on the ground. Oh, wow. The child, part of it was a childhood friend was going to come and visit me, but I find her very insulting. And I told her, no, don't come visit. And I was having anxiety over it and feeling guilty. That's where it came from. Wow.
You just had an epiphany.
Yes, and I should just say, okay, just let it go. And, I understand. Wow, you just cleared that all right. I feel so much better. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you'll get more visits in the future. Just realize that it's inevitable. There's not anyone that leaves a shadow child behind, especially someone that's had some rough times, and it's always going to be there. You just have to, part of the transformation is accepting that sometimes those visits are just a way to see how far you've come.
The better you handle it, the farther you've come, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Absolutely wonderful. Blessings to you and in everything and every day. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
All
tomorrow.
Right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we have Chris from Tennessee, and Chris is an old friend. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and we.
Oh, happy Halloween!
Huh?
Did you do any dressing up? Are you going to dress up this year, or do anything crazy for Halloween?
I don't know yet. Think about it.
You know what I'm going to do on Halloween? Probably on Halloween, Chris, what's going to happen is that my husband and I are going to sit around and eat an entire bag of candy because, we get the candy in case, but if there aren't any, we have dogs, and the dogs bark a lot, so kids don't like that. But it'll be a good excuse to just sit around and eat a lot of chocolate.
Yes, that sounds good.
So what can I do for you, buddy?
Do you see anything anything good coming up for me?
Okay. Sure, I'll give you, I'm going to have you say your first name. Say your first
Chris.
name. Thank you.
Chris.
Okay, wait a minute. And again?
Chris.
Thank you. And I'm going to have you say it one more time.
Chris.
Thank you. Oh, you do that so well. Okay, Chris, here's the thing. It says, walking away from something that you used to feel was, it shows you walking away from something, and I don't know what it is. It seems as if it's a place that you used to really enjoy, but maybe lately it hasn't been that way. It could also be a person that was in your past that you felt sad about, and you've decided that you're no longer going to think about it. So, walking away from an upsetting situation, 2018 is the year that you're going to do something that you are proud of. It says you may learn something new, take a class, or learn something that you have always wanted to do. Now, it's not something hard. It's more or less maybe a skill. Maybe it's something that you can do, you know, in the summertime, or something you can do to create something. I'm not sure what it is. It could be a small job that you feel just feels good to be at. Right now, it says, and I don't know why it does, it says you're feeling pretty good, Chris. Your energy is very good. I'm showing a lot of angel energy around you. And my feeling is that you are in a very good spiritual place. The past shows that it seems as if things got easier for you to handle. You went through, especially the last 10 weeks to 10 months time. It just seems as if for whatever reason, Chris, you've been doing better. You did something, or something is different. And it says old heartaches gone, old sadness gone. And that the future shows you in a very strong, spiritually happy, good place. Now, I don't know whether that means that somebody is coming into your life, or whether you're taking a class with other people where you're learning a new trade, but it shows you feeling, I'm going to say, grown up, more together, more happy. It also says the last thing that you want is to be upset or cry or feel sad about anything that happened a long time ago. You don't want to think about that anymore. Your reading says that you have an important choice to make. It's like you have two directions in the next coming 2 months to decide on. One of them may be a class or learning a new skill. The other one could be a relationship or making a new friend. But watch out and make sure that it's a quality friend, somebody who gives you hope. You do not want to be around anybody that makes you feel sad or negative. I'm shown that what you want, and it says sometimes, Chris, you just need somebody to kind of push you towards getting your life together. It says you know you have skills and gifts and talents, and you know your angels have been telling you to do something new. This is the year you will do it. But it says you just have to push yourself sometimes. Don't let yourself wait for somebody to hold your hand and take you there. If you see a new class, if you see a new group that has something to say or learn you are interested in, go to it. Do it. Don't wait for somebody to hold your hand and take you there. And the last thing I see, Chris, is a partnership, a very inspiring, warm, loving friend. I hope it's a girlfriend, but if it's not, it's a friend who is giving you a suggestion, telling you about something in the next 2 months, a class, something to take with them. It's something you do together. So all this reading is basically saying, Chris, is you're a good guy and you're going through good, strong changes for the better. And it says you're in a good place, a very good place. Your angels are around you. And my feeling is open the door to change. Try something new. It will be something you get very, very good at. You may even do it when you're an old man. Yes.
Jay, do you think me and my baby mama still in love with each other? We still got feelings for each other or not? Baby mama.
Your mom?
No, I said baby mama. My girlfriend. I'm a girlfriend, my baby mama.
No, I'm sorry. Are you saying mom?
Baby's mama.
A baby's mama. Oh, your baby's mama.
We still love each other or not? We still have feelings for each other. Feelings.
So you have a child then?
Posting
Supposedly. Okay. So if I look at what comes up about what I have shows that there may be somebody in your life who I'm not showing that if you're asking me if you're to tell you about your baby's mama, is that what you said?
Yeah, we still love each other. We still love.
Love, is there love, right?
Yeah.
My feeling is yes, this is a good year for love for you. But remember, it says don't worry about it, Chris. You know what? Love comes in your life when you aren't looking for it. And it'll happen by taking a class. It'll happen by meeting something. Your reading definitely said in the next 2 months, there's somebody very important coming into your life. So my feeling is that you will have somebody important. And if I look at the relationship in 2018, again, it says there is a chance for you to have a relationship in 2018. But just remember, make sure that the relationships that you come close to are healthy, good ones. Stay away and be cautious of negative people. And that means have a good woman in your life, but stay away from the women that are in trouble. Stay away from women that seem to have problems with law or problems or make bad choices. I'm showing that you're a good guy and you don't want to take on somebody that makes bad choices. love is coming into your life, but most of all, you have to be very careful. You're a good guy. So be cautious about being too nice so you don't bring in somebody that hurts you rather than makes you happy. And you will find, if you're very careful, that this is a great year for love. I show a partnership for you. The only thing is, Chris, I can't promise you that you're going to be married or have a baby or anything like that this year. I can only tell you that be around people who treat you good. Stay away from people who aren't treating you good. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Emery. Thank you.
You're welcome, Chris. I love you. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you so much for that, Chris. And one of the things that I would like to do is just play a little bit because I'm a strong believer that, as we spoke on today, that the law of attraction is not always, and abundance is different for each of us. For like Chris, to me, what I saw abundance was something that gave his life meaning, a trade, a good job. For Sandy, abundance was seen as her ability not to get worried if her shadow child visits once in a while. Abundance can be money. Abundance can also be happiness to go after what excites us and not try to procrastinate and convince ourselves that now is not the time. We have to pay attention to those open windows. Everybody has times in their life when they have an opportunity to take a class or to do something or to be able to learn something new or make a new friend or lose some weight or to live more healthy. Only we can make those choices. And if they feel right, then do them. But no one's going to hold our hand. We have to depend on ourselves or a support group to help us with our greatest excitement. So I do want to play something here that is a small thing from Bashar, and I think it complements this. For those of you that are thinking about a relationship in 2018. Remember, like attracts like. If you're needy, if you're depressed, if you're just, I gotta have love, what you're going to do is bring in somebody that isn't necessarily beneficial for your life. So I'm going to do this with the path of highest excitement. And this is Bashar. He is a little quirky. For those of you, he's a channeler and he channels another source. But this is his words on the path of highest excitement.
This is my first experience with you here.
Well, this is my first experience with you. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I have a mundane question.
There are no mundane questions.
Oh, great. That's good to know.
Thank you. Is it important to you?
Yes, it is.
Why would you consider it mundane then?
Because I felt like everyone else was asking questions that pertain to
big cosmic issues.
Yes, and I
The daily questions of physical life are just as spiritual as any other question. You understand?
Yes, thank you.
Equality to all.
Yes.
If it is important to you, it is not mundane.
Thank you.
All right. What is your question?
My question is, I'm in a work environment where I want to know what my purpose there is and how soon can I get unstuck to create the life that I really want, that I prefer.
Right. The way we usually go about exploring this issue is to ask you a question, and certainly not a mundane one at all. The question we ask is, are you doing what excites you the most in life or not?
No.
Thank you for your honesty. The next question is, when will you choose to do what excites you the most in life? Bigger question.
I wanted to choose it yesterday, but
And you didn't because? What belief systems are holding you back?
fear.
Of?
Fear of
Yes. Fear of what?
choosing something and that not really being what really brings me joy.
So you're saying that if you choose something that excites you, you might actually be choosing something that doesn't excite you.
Well, my challenge is
Yes.
choosing something that excites me because it may excite
Why is
me.
that a challenge? It's easy to do.
Yes, okay.
Do you believe that? Obviously not.
No.
All right. May I explain it to you in a way that will allow it to seem easier?
Yes, please.
Why, thank you. The idea that has been, in a sense, perpetrated throughout much of your New Age consciousness of following your bliss and acting on your excitement usually doesn't come with a clear explanation of why or how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The idea simply is to understand it first and foremost in a very simplified manner, as follows. When we talk about the idea of acting on your joy, your highest excitement at any given moment, we don't necessarily mean that it has to be a life-spanning career, a gigantic project, an all-consuming endeavor. We literally mean act on whatever is at any given moment out of all the choices you have available to you, many of which may seem mundane. Just act at any given moment on the one that contains the highest amount of excitement out of all the choices you have the ability to take action on. Period. That's it. It's that simple. Excitement is a thread. It leads to all other excitement. So if you are simply sitting around going, oh, I don't know what excites me, just look at what your options are. Just list your options at that moment. If the only options are go shopping, take a walk on the beach, call a friend, just for an example, just pick the one that's most exciting and act on it to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you can till you can take it no further. When you come to the next crossroad, look at the options available to you then, pick the one that's most exciting, you have the greatest degree of ability to take action on, and take action on it. When you come to the next crossroad, do the same thing. When you come to the next crossroad, do the same thing. The excitement that you follow will automatically draw you into a series of synchronistic events that will constantly accelerate and expand your ability to experience excitement, and constantly accelerate and increase your ability to experience that your excitement will actually be capable of supporting you in your life if you keep moving in that way. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Now, the question is, do you believe it? Because the idea is that when we, first of all, offer the idea that all you have to do at any given moment is simply choose out of the relatively normal options available to you, if you can't think of any all-encompassing excitement, if you just choose the most exciting option out of whatever's available to you and act on it, when we offer that suggestion up, very often the first thing that comes out of the human mind is, but that's not connected to this, or how can that support me? I don't understand. You don't have to understand. That's the beauty of it. The idea is that your physical mind is not designed, never was, and never will be designed to understand how things will happen. It is not designed to understand or comprehend how something that you act on that excites you will bring you the thing you need somewhere down the line. So you don't have to think about how that's going to happen. All you have to do is act on it knowing that it will. Because the human mind is only designed to experience how things are happening. That's it. The human mind is only designed, the physical mind is only designed to understand the physical experience.
So basically, I guess what I love about Bashar is that in all of the intellectual value of understanding the world, oftentimes it comes down to such simplistic things, such as that you don't have to analyze every second of your life. You don't have to try to figure out where the next romance partner is going to come. You don't have to figure out what you're going to do to make your life successful, as much as you just have to keep moving towards whatever excites you in the moment. So, of course, it's always good for children and to have a college education and have plans. But how often do those kids oftentimes go in a totally different direction than they even believed that they would? And where are you in your life? Are you in a different place than you thought you'd be? I know I am. At one time, I worked in a packing house. I supported a little boy, and I was damned if I was going to be on government support. I wanted to do it. So it meant getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going to work. But I also had the excitement of being able to read palms at a gift shop and to be able to, eventually take psychic readings by the phone. Things started to synchronistically happen for me. And one day I found out that I made as much money reading psychically on the phone for Best Psychics Directory and Keen than I was bringing in as much as I was the packing house. So it really didn't make any sense to do something when I'm an animal lover, to do something I hated. And I believe that if you'll just simplify yourself and stop analyzing so much about where the next love of your life is going to come, and realize sometimes love happens like a semi-truck in the dark when you least expect it. Bam, there it is. And it's when you keep forcing the issue and looking and looking and looking, oftentimes you settle for less. So I think that the most important thing is just to learn to simplify. And sometimes the real answers in life are not heavy explanations about the whys and things. It just is about going for what feels good to you in the moment, and I really mean in the positive way. That does not mean hurting yourself or hurting someone else. It means following your heart and doing what feels good to you in the moment. So I want to thank the callers that I had today and Casey, and I will be back on the first week of the month with Joseph Grick, and the second week of the month with Joseph. And who knows, on the third one, we'll see where it goes. So thanks so much for coming. And I'm going to do a little angel reading just to see if there's anything that I can tell you about the coming month that may resonate for you. It says, this is the month where you need to ground yourself. Just try, as the full moon is here and as the changing of the seasons and the cooler weather comes, to realize that no matter how much the world is changing around you, politics, fears about North Korea, no matter what it is, the loss of a job or fear of layoff, ground yourself. Remember, if like attracts like, and if you allow yourself to be emotionally upset, you'll just attract more of it. Calm down. Bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com.